destroyed. Help me, is anybody there? Save me, I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. It's so dark out here in space. And it's been so long since I've seen a face. My eyes are shut, but I can see the void between you and me. And I feel like I'm going insane. Help me, is anybody there? Save me, I'm running out of air. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Far from the sun, beyond stars, I hear their song. They're coming closer, talking without sound, calling me home. Calling out Mayday. Calling out Mayday. Save me, I'm running out of air. I'm running out of air.
All righty, and we are live. How is everybody doing tonight? How are we doing? Are we ready for the show? Hey, I got my hard glasses on. Yeah, but I have to take them off because I can't see anything with them on. So let's get to this. How is everybody doing tonight, huh? How is everybody doing tonight? Oh, there. My lights came on. So tonight's show, we're going to do a little bit of art stuff. I did do some last night. Well, it was actually early this morning when I did my paint pours after I did some other work, getting the rest of show stuff done and getting prepared for tonight and prepared for other things. And I'm going to talk about a little controversial stuff. I'm not sure how you guys are following what's happening with the politics and with the election and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, as you can see, I'm still a Trump supporter. I double down. I am a conservative. I am about our Constitution. I'm not about a man, but I am supporting our president because he, one, is still president. Two, he has not lost the election yet. And until it is certified by Congress, it's not done. So the controversy that we're going to talk about is YouTube. Even though I'm on YouTube and I appreciate being here, but I'm still going to talk about the Constitution and our rights as Americans. And we're not a communist country. We are not communist China. We are not Venezuela. We are not 1942 or 41 or 1940 Germany. And I don't want to see us go that route. So we as Americans have a duty to stand up and defend our Constitution. And I think we need to have more people doing that. We have a lot of people out there that are, and there's a lot of people that have really been paying attention to what's going on. I grew up in politics. My parents were diplomats with the Foreign Service, my mom and stepdad. So yes, part of the State Department. As a matter of fact, this flag you see right here, this is off the presidential, it's a presidential flag off of the motorcade. When President Bush, I think, came, and my stepdad was head of the motorcade. And so I grew up in that life. So I don't particularly care for politics per se as old politics go. But I don't want to turn this into a political show. This show is about drinking wine. I have a drink. I did make this new sound, but I don't really care for it very much on my Roadcaster. So I think it's this one. Yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be like for drink. But I need to come up with a better sound than that for telling you guys to drink. But anyway, I want to talk about some art stuff that we're gonna do. I did the paint pours. I did something I've never done before, something very interesting and very cool. I did a paint pour, and then I utilized all the paint. So one of them didn't get hardly any design on it. So I used glitter to kind of design it. And then I used some ornaments that I had gotten from the dollar store. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with those. And we're going to put that together. We're going to look at the chalk art that we did the other night with the Santa Claus and how I was able to make that look really good. And I think we'll do another chalk. We'll redo the Stay Cozy. And then we're gonna talk about how to mount those, and then how the pieces that I used for these paint pours, how they worked. I ordered something I had never ordered before, and I probably will never order them again, especially not for a paint pour, but I'll explain why when we get over to that part. So we're not doing the trivia because I did not have enough people. So I called that by yesterday because there was kind of no point in doing it. And I put that it's hump day today, and that was because this one was prepared for yesterday. So I'll be changing the name of this show. Because yesterday was hump day and it turned into hijack day because my husband and daughter hijacked the show. So it was actually hijack day rather than hump day. But that's okay because it was a fun show. We just talked about so we talked about some cool stuff, and we had some little speed debates between a younger generation and what she calls ancient generation. At least TZ wise, she does. So we're going to talk about that stuff. Now, if you can see back here, I still have these. So if anybody does start sending me numbers, 1 through 100, you can still win a wine glass. But if you can see this right here, I don't know if you can see that very well. Let me pull it out really quick. This right here, this is the original. They have a copy. I have the original. Oh, okay, just kidding. I don't want to get arrested or something because some liberal out there will say, I went and stole this. But anyway, obviously you can see it's folded. I need to find a way to steam this or iron it back out so that it'll be straight. But anyway, this is something that we all need to hold sacred and dear, is our Constitution. We the people If you haven't read it, please read it. You might be pleasantly surprised with some of what it actually says. So anyway, what I want to explain to people is when you're doing art, not everything comes out exactly. I guess that's the camera I'm supposed to be looking at. Not everything comes out the way you planned. So sometimes you have to go outside of what the plan was and come up with a different solution. And when you think outside the paint, that's what I call this, is when I think outside the paint, I go, okay, this didn't come out exactly how I was planning, but how can I make this work? And how can I turn this into something still pretty or still usable? One of the pieces I did last night, well, it was like 4 or 5 this morning actually, but one of the pieces that I did, literally, it was trash. It was it was so bad. And I had just a little bit of paint left in my pour, and I was like, okay, so I went ahead and finished that off. It turned into the best one out of all of them. So I used what was on there as the backing, and then it just turned into so nice. So now I think what we're going to do is we're going to move over to the art room. We're a little bit early. I'm supposed to do it in like 15 minutes in, but we're going to go ahead and go in there now because I think that might take a little bit more time, and we're going to talk about that stuff. So while we are waiting, I am going to show you a comedian that you should be watching. She's really funny. It's very entertaining, and I will see you in the art room. Oh my God, did she just swear? Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry. Just tell me when I'm live. All right, guys, we are in the art room now. And I'm not sure what all you guys can see on the screen. I think you can see pretty much everything I've got here. I have a little bit of a display. So these are what we're going to be working on. This is how our Santa came out. Now, I do still have to fix that part. I didn't fix that, but I did go in and I was pretty much able to fix, and we're going to do one little thing on here to see how that works out. So I'm not going to, just temporarily. So what I did is this part right here had green on it, and that still has a little bit of red on it, but not very much. And this had a really, really significant white streak across it. And for some reason, when I pulled it up the green there, and it pulled up the balls. So what we're going to do is, and I'm going to show you how I fixed that. So we have that in our screen, and I do have this on my Lazy Susan. So this is what we're going to work on in a couple minutes. So I'm going to put this out of our way for right now, and we are going to put these out of our way, and then we're going to work on this real quick, and then we will get back to these right after that. All right, so what we're going to work on with this, sound-wise, I guess I'm not giving good enough sound. So, all right. So what I came up with just by happenstance is I had bought these a long time ago. They're liquid chalk markers. So I had bought these a long time ago. So what I did was I pulled out the green, the red, and the white. And you have to shake them up really good. And that's partly why I left this other area alone, is these are not chalk couture, but they are still chalk. So what I did was I just used a little bit of red. We're going to These are not going to be exactly the same, but I'm just drawing some circles here. So in a pinch, you can, and once those dry, I'm gonna take and use my finger and I'll scrape. Like these ones right here did not have the marks in it. So I just used my fingernail and I just made the mark on it. Now this, you have to be careful because when you put this on, it does want to wet up the part underneath of it. So you just kind of have to be a little bit careful. And if you just dab it just slightly with your finger, it takes off the chunk of it. So this is not the perfect way. And in fact, I'm going to do one more. There's a lot of bulbs on Sandy's hat. So, and the green is not the same green by any means. It's got kind of a, so what I did was I used this to give it maybe a little bit of highlighting. And then we'll do this over here. So this was able to give just a little bit of character to our leaves. I'm not even trying to be really good right this minute. I'm just showing you how this can work as an alternative. And you know what else I did? Watch this. This was really cool. So you see how that is the wrong green. I don't want to shake it like I did the other night. So what I did was I went like this and I got just a little bit on here and I dabbed it on with my paint, the brush, get it on there. It'll go. And then I just use this I'm sorry, I have dogs coming in here, so they're might be making some noise, but that's just my puppies. So I used just a little tiny bit of this on the end of this pen to just throw a little bit of the other color of green in there. So it was a way out. This is the whole purpose of my philosophy of thinking outside the paint. Is it didn't go exactly the way I wanted, and this was an alternative, but it's also not the right color per se. So I'm utilizing these two colors together to get a look that still works. Now the one thing you have to remember is you can't work it too much because it's wet and you're going to cause dog hair to get in it, but you're going to cause it to start pulling up what's underneath, because if it gets wet, it'll start coming apart. So you got to be careful about that part. So we got that going. Now, as these are drying, you'll see the definition come out. And I didn't make the design of this the right way. There. Now I'll have to let that dry, and then I can fix the inside of that, I think. I might be able to fix it right now. We'll see. We'll see. There we go. Now we'll fix the rest of that when it dries. But the whole point was to show you how you could take something that is not the same intention and you can use it to just kind of fix a little bit of your issues. You don't want to do too much. And I use my finger just to move that out of the way. So now we were able to fix that without, and when you look at it from, you really can't tell. So that is, again, I really like to talk design stuff. I think it's really cool. So the next thing we're going to do are these right here. Okay, so we're going to discuss these also. And what I didn't like about using these, the part I didn't like was, if you can see, they're all bending. So they will definitely have to be put in. That one's probably the least bent of them all. This one really bent. That one really bent. So that's going to have to be not bent back. It's still slightly damp. It's going to have to be bent slightly back. That one's still slightly damp. But this is the last one that I did, which I didn't expect. And this one came out really cool. Now, I did put the lines there, but the lines were intentional because this is where we are going to, let me put this chalk away before it dries out, right? Because the plan is I use the paint pour over these, and I am going to glue these down onto this surface. Now I need to cut that part off. Where did I put my cutters? Right here. Okay, let me get my cutters out real quick. And because I do not want the hanger on there, because we are not hanging that. I should have put blue on there, but that's okay. We will hide this with a little bit of paint later. So because it matches these ones right here. So now I was deciding which one I want which on. I think that one's going to go in there. I like the way that one looks, but that one can't be put on yet because it's not dry enough. This one was intended for here, but I'm thinking not. I'm thinking of this one because I wanted those lines to show out like it was. Again, we got to cut this off. I should have cut them off before the pour. But that's okay. We can dab a little paint. We got to dab a little bit there too. So these were just plastic little things. So we're going to put this right here, I think. So what we need to do is we are going to plug in our hot glue gun. And I did get this hot glue gun very recently. I only have, 20 of them. I don't know what I have. I have a bunch. So, but this one I like because it has a high and low setting. So we have two different things here for glue. We are going to dab a little bit of hot glue just to hot glue it, but then we are going just to keep it in place. But then we are going to also put Gorilla Glue on there because I want this to stay indefinitely. I don't want it to come off. So we're going to get a couple glue sticks out. We're not doing a whole lot, but we are doing some. So we need to have some glue sticks out on our prep area. Oh, this was the last one. So I may have to do another one for that one. So the intentions is that these are going to stand up above the painting. So that one, this one I'm kind of calling the North Star. So I think I'm going to put that one on that one. And I think I'm going to put this one on this one. And I'm thinking this one I don't know yet. This one I think I'm going to put on here. That one goes very well with that one. So that's how we're going to do it. So how we are going to attach these is with these little cups. These little teeny tiny, I don't know if you can see that very well. Let's see. It's a little teeny tiny cup. So we are going to adhere the little tiny cup onto the other, but we're also going to put a dab of the Gorilla Glue, because remember what I said, we want this to stay on. We don't want it to come off. So we're going to put the Gorilla Glue on, and we're going to put just a dab of the hot glue to keep it in place. Now let's see, is it getting hot enough? It's getting there. Not quite there yet. So the whole intention is we're going to glue this on so that this will stand up. Let's get another little cup. So these I have from when I used to do tattoos. And yes, I have done several tattoos on myself. So the whole point is we're going to put the bigger side down that has a bigger base, and then we're going to glue that part to the top, centering it, and then it will be able to sit. So we have a tall side and we have a short side. So we're going to go like this, and we want it centered as much as we can, and then it will sit. Once it's glued, it'll stay in place. It'll sit like this, and that'll be what you end up with. So that's something I came up with just to see how it would work and how it would look. And so far, I am digging it. So we're going to put that on there. You want to put your placement so that it doesn't move. And then you're going to put the hot glue. And I'm only putting hot glue on two sides. And then I will put the Gorilla Glue the rest of the way. Because you don't have a lot on here to... It's not like you have a solid surface to go on there. So... And there you have it. That's what it looks like. So it'll be three-dimensional. So, well, we got to leave it sit to dry, right? Let's stop messing with it. Let it dry. And then we're going to do the next one. Again, we're going to put a little dab of... And we're going to put a little dab of the hot glue also. And we're going to glue that to our design. Right in the center. Then we're going to put a little hot glue on both sides. And then we're going to put a little bit of Gorilla Glue. The Gorilla Glue is the really the holder. The Gorilla Glue is the one that really is important. So now our placement, we have an ugly mark there, so we're going to cover that, and we want to see which part of this we want up. So I think I'm going to do it right like this. And again, I am just eyeballing it. And there's a little marking right here with the plastic. So I was thinking about putting a little stone or something on there, but I'll wait until this is all done and dried and see how I like that. So is definitely crooked. I think I'm going to have to put a little more hot glue on there to get it to stay. Because obviously, Gorilla Glue, it's the heavy duty Gorilla Glue. So it takes a while for it takes like 24 hours for that particular glue to make a stronghold. So the whole point of this is you can see the three-dimensional effect with the lighting. That was my plan. So far we got 2 of them glued down. Now this one's going to be a little bit harder because this one is and this had a little bit of plastic that, like I said, I got these from the dollar store, so they were not expensive. In fact, both of those 2 over here came as a 2-pack for $1. So I got 4 of those all together. This one's going to be a little more interesting. So if you notice, this one I'm kind of considering like the North Star. So we have 2 dots there that I don't care for and I didn't try to fix. Again, this is, I think I like that direction. Now I intended for this to be this direction. So let's go right there is where I think that one's going to go. So this one's going to have a little bit bigger cup is the way this one's going to go. And this one I am hoping will work out just fine. This one I'm going to put a nice ring of hot glue and then I will put the Gorilla Glue right in the middle. If it'll come off out of the thing. All right, time for a stick. There we go. Now we're going to let that sit for just a moment because I want that to set. And this one's going to be interesting because this has like a whole nother set. So this one I'm just going to go every other one with hot glue. And then I'll put the Gorilla Glue on every other foot too, because I'm just calling those like feet. Although my Gorilla Glue is not wanting to come apart. I think it's because it got some hot glue on it or something. So we will get the string out of the way. So we are going to place this one. And this one, I need a little bit of weight and pressure. So I'm going to just put my jar on it for a second. Getting a little weight and pressure. So these are snowflakes. I'm calling this a snowflake 3D effect is what I'm kind of doing with that. So we're going to move this out of the way. And we're just going to let that sit there balanced as best we can. Whoop, got it. Maybe not good, but we got it. So then this one, hopefully will sit on here just fine. And this one, I'm going to put a little extra hot glue on around. I'm going to build that up around there. All right. Well, how is your guys' holidays? Are you getting ready? Are you prepared? Do you have everything planned and prepared? I think I may just because that has to be stable before we can put it on there. So that needs to sit. We don't have one for the other one, so we're just going to let those sit for a little while. We're going to turn our glue gun off, and we're going to do that stay cozy chalk art and get that part done. And I gotta wipe the glue, and then I gotta scrape that glue and figure out where in the heck did I put the lid for the glue before I glue myself to the table. Where did I set it? It was right here. Okay, well, I'll find it. I'll find it in a second. I'm sure it's there. I may have dropped it on the floor or something. But anyway, let me get this glue out of the way because I don't want to glue myself to the table. And I got hot glue on my cloth here. And yes, I wore long sleeves with a flowy sleeve thing. So that's going to be fun, right? Hopefully I don't glue my shirt to the table, right? That would be funny. Not. Well, I knew that might happen because I moved my table too much. All right, so let's get this next one going. I am going to work on getting some kind of music on my show when I'm doing this. Okay, so that's not going to work. I think it's staying now. That's good. It looks like it's staying now. So we're going to work on this one. Let's see. Can you see that? Okay, yeah, you can. My husband did this really cool stuff. So if you could, look to your left. No, I'm just kidding. You can't. But right over here on this other side is a TV, and it has all my cameras on it. So I can see what you can see so that I don't accidentally. So I did order some squeegees and stuff, by the way. But that way you can, I know what you're seeing, and I'm not thinking that you're seeing something that isn't there. So the only thing I'm going to do with this one, I think is I'm just going to do two colors. I'm going to do not every other letter. I'm just going to do two colors, and I'm going to do it red and green and red and green. And not make it too difficult for myself. And let's fuzz it up a little bit. Get it ready to go. Still never found that lid. I don't know what I did with that lid. I lost my lid. Just like I lost my head half the time. It's got to be somewhere right here. I don't know what I did with it. But that's all right. We're going to fuzz this up a little bit, and then we're going to put this on here. And from what I've been seeing, let's see. Again, I wish these had a little bit of a I just wish they had, I mean, I got it pretty darn good, but I do wish it had. So we're going to, I wish it had the measurements. That's what I was trying to say. So I think we're going to just do red and green. So we're going to do red on top, green on the bottom, and we're not going to get too crazy with it, trying to do every other letter and all that. That was a bit much before. My husband made that statement to me afterwards. Until you have teeny tiny squeegees and stuff, maybe just not trying to do so much. So I am using this stick to put this on, And then I'm going to get my shirt out of the way. We'll put it up on our elbow for a minute. And we will just use whatever we got here until that is out. And we'll just push this on. That's what I got this for. There we go. We got it all. Oh, we got a dog barking. Must be somebody outside or something. All right, so we got all that covered. And then we're going to scrape. And we're going to scrape just like that. And the cool part is when you scrape like that, you don't really seem to lose a whole lot. You get a big majority back. All right, we got our red done. And now we're going to do our green. I am going to shut that really quick because I don't want it getting everywhere. So my husband was able to find me this squeegee. So I'm going to use that one for the green because taking the time to wash every single time after each color takes a little bit more work to do. So I'm not wanting to do that. So yeah, that kind of maybe that's lazy. I don't know. But for time purposes, I think it takes a little bit more time to do that. And he found me this other one until I get the ones that I ordered. And I ordered them from Amazon. The little squeegees, the mini squeegees are Chalk Couture, but I got them from Amazon rather than Chalk Couture. And the weird part is they were, I think, $1 cheaper for a dozen. And I ordered a dozen, so I would have enough for all different designs. I'm going to get this nice and thick on there. Make sure we covered everything. Everything looks covered. All right, scrape and then scrape. And then we're going to pull it off. Now, the only thing I have to say about the pulling off part is they talk about how you should pull it off and you need to pull it straight up. That's very difficult to do by yourself because you don't have anybody to hold your piece down. And if you're by yourself, sure, my husband can come in here and do that for me. But if you're by yourself, well, I see part of that C did not get covered. Let's make sure all the pieces got covered. All right, that's drying, so we need to get this off of here. All right, we'll do the best we can. We're supposed to pull straight up. Whoa, and that's really sticking. Yep, it's drying to the thing, so we have to do this faster than I'm doing it, apparently. I'm doing it too slow. But that is what happens when you're learning. Not really a fan of this one. I think that's why it's not working well. I'm not a fan of this one. I think it's like missing something. It's just Stay Cozy. It needs something around it. Probably some foliage or something. I'll probably do with that. So that's my problem. I'm being too much of a perfectionist. And as you can see, some of it came out in here. So I got to get that in the wash right quick. I'm going to wait just a minute. I'll get that in the wash. I'm going to turn that over for a second. I'm going to get that. I should have a pan of water in here. And let's see how this is doing. Well, that seems pretty stable on there now. So I see the way this goes this way and widens out. So I think that this would look really good this way. Got a string of hot glue. So now we got to plug back in our hot glue gun so that we have some heat. And then we're going to glue this in place. It's going to sit like that. All right, let's get this in place. Let's get this sucker in place. We've got glue already because it's just wiggling out of here because I lost the lid somewhere. Well, I don't know how you lose the lid. Right here. Didn't go anywhere. It must have gone on the floor. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put this glue on. Well, we're going to pull that off because that glue is been sitting and it's not really wet anymore. So we'll pull that glue off and then we're going to glue almost all the way around and almost all the way around. And then we will put hot glue in the two voids. And we need to put another glue stick in there. I already had out. Where are they? They are right here. Okay. Right. I hate that hot glue string. Sorry if my head's in the way, guys. Again, this is going to have a little bit of weight on it or something to keep it nicely in place. Well, that one is pretty good. You just can't move it. So wherever it got put is where it's going to have to stay for now. That's it. Now this one seems to have come off. Bottom part didn't. But the top part did, but I think that's also because of the glue. So we need to make sure this is the right direction here. Again, I think that's the issue too, is I need to have a little bit of weight on there. So I am going to put something on there. You know, you'd always just have to improvise. You just have to improvise with what you have that can work and give it just a little bit of weight or whatever. I haven't figured that one out with this one, but I'll figure something out for it to sit on top of there. That cup would work, but there's no weight to that cup. This is how we do balancing act on art. There we go. We got a little bit of weight on there. And this one is pretty much staying. So that's what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to put this. That didn't work, did it? I knew that wasn't going to work. I don't know what I was thinking. I need something flat. I need a piece of wood or something. I've got wood. I've got stuff I haven't even used before. I have so much stuff in here. It's not even funny. I'll find something to put on there. But in the meantime, we'll put that up there. And maybe it'll just finally start adhering without any weight on it. But I think it just needs weight to push it down onto the glue. And I know we have so much stuff around here. It's ridiculous. So my plan for the Stay Cozy was to put it on this little easel by the front door. So I think I'm going to put some foliage on there, and I have to put something to keep it there, but I think I'll put some foliage on there and I'll redo that. And what I've learned is it's still damp, but it is, I waited too long. That's my problem. I gotta stop trying to have it perfect and just get it on and get it off quicker than I did. So that's one of the things. Now this could actually just sit in there, or you could hang it on the wall. There's so many things you can do with these. I am planning the two that kind of came out flat. I'll put in a little different frame, but the one that came out really bent has to be kind of bent down into a frame. But anyway, that is what the intention is. That is what the plan was, for them to look this way. And that one did not glue down at all. So we're going to have to work on that. But that's the whole joy of it, is trying something that you've never done before and seeing how well they work. And with this, it's a new animal because, one, I don't know how well this stuff is going to adhere onto the painted surface. I may have to scrape a little bit of paint where I need this to sit. And if they keep popping off, because obviously we want them to stay on and we want them to not come off. And I can't touch them, of course. But we are going to touch this one after I said don't touch it. But that's what it looks like finished. So if it were hanging on your wall, it would look really cool. And it looks kind of like the North Star, although I did see, I'm going to mess with this, and then what's it going to do? It's going to probably break off. No, I'm not going to do it. I will wait until it's completely dry. But it does look suspended. I'm probably going to get a paintbrush in there and paint the blue inside there, just so you don't see. Let's see if you can see that. Yeah, just so you don't see that part. But man, that does look really cool. That's what I was going for, is this 3-dimensional effect. It didn't go exactly the way I had planned, but I think it turned out really good. Each of the designs came out really good. I'm very happy with that part of it. For all you grammar correctors, and yes, I have a degree in writing. I have a journalism degree, and I have a degree in creative writing. So yes, I should know. They look well. For anyone who wants to correct my grammar. But anyway, I'm very excited about how these have turned out. I'm going to put a little weight on there, and I will see if there's anything different that I need to do, and I will post pictures of these on my website or on my Facebook page. I don't have a website for this, but anyway, let's get back into the studio and finish off the last bit of our show. All right, I'll see you in there. All right, and we're back. Hi, how is everybody doing? We're back in the studio, and so I'm going to spend the last little bit of the show. We only have a couple more minutes. I'm going to spend the last bit of the show talking about the controversy right now about the election, and the election is not done. So this is it's big for me because I want to know that my rights are protected. And this should matter to everybody. It shouldn't matter what your political beliefs are, but we have a constitutional right to freedom of speech. We have a constitutional right to religion. We have a constitutional right to protest and to take our country back if our leaders are out of control. And right now, I think some of these leaders are acting like they're dictators. Sorry, I can't see. Got my hat just, there we go. My hat is covering my eyes. So we have a obligation as American citizens to stand up for our rights, stand up for the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, Article 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Original ones. Now there are some amendments and stuff like that, but I think a lot of people forget that this is a binding document that was made by our forefathers and our founders. And we have an obligation to protect this and protect our rights. And what YouTube did just yesterday, I think it came out yesterday. I might be wrong if it didn't come out yesterday, but I thought it came out yesterday. And that is supporting the 2020 US election and removing content that violates our policy. This is actually on their blog page, and they put we work to make sure that all the lines between what is removed and what is allowed is drawn in the right place. So against the Constitution is in the right place. Our policies prohibit misleading viewers about where and how to vote. We also disallow content alleging widespread fraud or errors changed the outcome of a historical US presidential election. However, in some cases, that has meant allowing controversial views on the outcome of process of counting votes of a current election, as election officials have worked to finalize counts. They have not finalized the counts. We are still in court. We are still talking about it. We are still dealing with it. And Texas, there's controversy about Texas going and filing suit in the Supreme Court against Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Georgia. And they're saying that they can't do that because you can't get involved in other states. But the reason they did is because it actually disenfranchises all the other states. You're taking away the rights and the votes of legitimate votes of people. You having people that violated your legislation and your Constitution is a violation of our Constitution, of our rights. Therefore, they are not wrong. This is not conspiracy theory. There is so much evidence. You've never in the history of our elections have you ever had this many people, witnesses, come forward, signing affidavits, being witnesses, doing testimony. And there are Democrats, there are independents, and there are conservatives. Not all of them are conservatives. Not all of them are Trump supporters. There are Democrats that have come forward that are mathematicians and stuff like that and said, whatever the theory is on how randomness works. And it doesn't work the way that it's coming out. It comes out, it yells fraud, screams fraud. Okay, I'm not saying there is fraud, but it yells fraud. It screams fraud. So do we need to investigate to see if there is? If there isn't, then there isn't. Yes, I'm wearing a Trump hat. And if you could see over in the window, which you can't see with this angle today, but I have a Trump flag in my window. I have a Trump banner on my fence on my house. So the thing is you don't have to be controversial to be controversial. You can stand up for your rights, and you can say, okay, are we being legal? Are we being legitimate? Are we fighting the good fight? And are we being fair? Are we being fair and independent as judges? Judges need to be fair and independent, and they have to follow the law and the Constitution. And these ones that are throwing things out because they don't even want to hear about it are not following the law. They are not following the Constitution, and they are not adhering to our rights. Now, me personally, I think as American people, when you have an organization who says, as of the 9th of, where does it say that part? I got to find that part. That as of the 9th of December, that the electoral votes will be certified. They haven't all been certified. Sorry. But that, as of the 9th, anything that talks about this controversy and fraud is going to be removed from YouTube. Well, that is a violation, direct violation of our constitutional rights. I do not live in communist China. I do not live in 1940 Nazi Germany, where they decide what you can and cannot see. I do not live in the former USSR. So we have an obligation as people. And I personally think, and I would like to see some other Sidney Powells come forward and say, I'm going to start a lawsuit. I want all you American voters, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, Tea Party, Conservative, all of you to come together that actually support our Constitution. These documents over here. Want you to come forward and sign that you want to be a part of this class action lawsuit against our censorship and our loss of constitutional rights. Because this is like back in the day when Bell came out with the phone system, saying, nope, I'm not going to let you make that phone call because I don't like what you said on your phone call. That is the same thing they're doing now. And they're just doing it on a different platform, Twitter and Facebook. And yes, I'm on Parler. You can go to Parler. It's same name. All of us can go there, but we're not going to get anywhere in this country if we're all talking in an echo chamber. If everybody's talking about the same thing and they all agree on the same topic, you're not going to teach anybody. You're not going to show anybody. They had a huge number of African-American, Black, whatever you want to call them, or yourselves, your choice. But Black and African-American voters came out in droves, as well as legal Latino voters and other nationalities came out in droves for Trump, as well as women for Trump. And no, my husband does not decide whether I can vote or how I can vote. I can decide that for myself. Thank you very much. But they came out in droves for him. Why? Because of all the talk, because of David Harris Jr., because of Candace Owens, because of the Hodge twins, because of Diamond and Silk, because of Terrence Williams, because of I don't even know all the names of everybody, like right now on my head. I follow all of them, Dan Bongino and Steven Crowder and, and all the white, Black, Asian, Latino, women, gays for Trump, all the ones out there who are Brandon Strack, Walkaway Campaign, that has done tremendous. All of those things have done a tremendous amount of help towards them not going to Trump, but starting to look at the facts. Look at the facts and look at reality and what are we being fed and what is the truth. And oh, this is the whole video, and this is what CNN put out. Is this one little bad part that might have sounded bad cut out. But if you play the whole thing, you see the whole picture. And it's not what you're being fed. It's not the truth. And the truth is, you got a billionaire business owner who gave up his fortune and his livelihood, to a point. He spent more money being president than he did anything else, and lost money being president, unlike any president in history. He's given away his salary. No one has done that in the history of America. So he's lost money. His family has lost money. His family's businesses have suffered. Everything has suffered because of the media and because of him saying, okay, if there's an issue and I actually can go help, I'm going to take my skills, knowledge, and abilities, KSAs, and I'm going to go and help. And he did. And he is. And he's improving. So stop being Trump derangement syndrome. Oh my God, I hate him. Oh my God, I hate him. I have a funny story to tell, but I'm not going to tell it tonight. I'll tell it tomorrow about someone in the supermarket because, what do you imagine my mask says? Can you imagine? I'll have that with me and I'll talk about that tomorrow night. So stay tuned. I'm going to have a really cool little story to tell. And I think there is video. I asked the person who took a video of it to send it to me. They have yet to send it to me. So I'm hoping that they will send it maybe this weekend and I can have it next week and we can talk about it. So anyway, I really, really, really deeply appreciate you all coming and watching my show. And I hope that all of you have a very blessed holiday. And I hope that you guys come more to my show. And I hope you enjoy the art, the discussion, and most of all, the wine. Let's have a great, great weekend. I will see you tomorrow. It's Friday, TGIW. Thank God it's wine. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow and I hope you all have a very blessed night. Thank you so much for being here and I will see you tomorrow.